Silence filled the space around New Haven, where 15 alien warships had threatened death and destruction just minutes before. Now only debris drifted slowly in the darkness. The USS Devastator floated alone among the wreckage like a dark angel of protection. On the planet's surface, Commander Lisa Parker stared at her tactical display in complete amazement. All the red dots representing enemy ships were gone. Every single one. The screen showed only green, indicating safety. "Commander," Lieutenant Jake Morrison said quietly. "Are they really all gone?" Lisa checked the readings again. She had to be sure this was not some cruel trick, but the sensors did not lie. The Zephyrian fleet had been completely destroyed. "Yes," she whispered. "They're all gone." Deep in the underground tunnels, families began to emerge from their shelters. Children who had lived in fear for 3 weeks stepped into the light. Parents who thought they would never see another sunrise held their children close. Dr. Amanda Foster ran through the colony telling everyone the news. "We're safe! The aliens are gone! Help came!" People poured out of their hiding places. Some were crying. Others were laughing. Many just stood in shock, unable to believe their nightmare was finally over. Above them in space, Captain Ryan Beck opened a communication channel to the planet below. His voice was calm and gentle, very different from the cold tone he had used with the aliens. "New Haven Colony, this is Captain Ryan Beck of the USS Devastator. The threat has been eliminated. You are safe now." Lisa felt tears running down her face as she heard those words. After 3 weeks of hopelessness, someone had actually come to save them. "Captain Beck," she replied. "This is Commander Lisa Parker. How can we ever thank you?" "No thanks needed, Commander," Ryan answered. "Earth takes care of its own. We always have, and we always will." The colonists gathered in the main square, looking up at the stars where their savior waited. Many had never heard of the USS Devastator before. The ship was supposed to be a secret, but now it had revealed itself to save their lives. Ryan addressed the entire colony over the communication system. "People of New Haven, I know you've been through hell, but you're tough. You survived because you're human, and humans don't give up. You should be proud of yourselves." In the ship's medical bay, Dr. Foster coordinated with the Devastator's medical team to help the wounded. Supplies were beamed down from the ship. Medicine, food, and equipment to help rebuild what the aliens had destroyed. But the rescue of New Haven was only the beginning of something much larger. Across the galaxy, alien empires monitored all military communications. The battle had been watched by dozens of different species. Word of what happened spread faster than light itself through quantum communication networks. On the homeworld of the Arcturus Republic, Fleet Admiral Zixlon watched the recorded battle footage with growing alarm. His blue skin turned pale as he saw the human ship destroy an entire Zephyrian fleet single-handedly. "How is this possible?" he asked his science advisor. "Unknown, Admiral," the alien scientist replied. "Our intelligence reports said humans had primitive technology, chemical rockets and simple energy weapons. This ship appears to be centuries ahead of anything we thought they possessed." Similar conversations were happening on worlds throughout the galaxy. The hegemony of Vega called emergency sessions to discuss the human threat. The Crystalline Collective began reinforcing their borders with human space. Even the mighty Draconian Empire started reconsidering their expansion plans. Back on Earth, Admiral Susan Carter received Ryan's mission report in her Luna shipyard office. She read it 3 times before believing it. 0 casualties. 0 damage to the Devastator. Complete. Destruction of enemy forces. "This changes everything," she said to herself. She was right. Within hours, her communication system was flooded with messages from alien governments. Some wanted to establish diplomatic relations with Earth. Others offered trade agreements. A few even apologized for past conflicts. The Zephyrian Empire, what was left of it after losing their entire attack fleet, sent an official message of surrender. They agreed to pay compensation to the New Haven colonists and promised never to attack human settlements again. On the bridge of the Devastator, Ryan received new orders from Earth Command. Instead of returning home immediately, they were to patrol human space for the next 6 months. Their mere presence would serve as a warning to anyone who might think about attacking human colonies. "Captain," Lieutenant Commander Paul Adams said, "we're receiving communication requests from 17 different alien governments. They all want to talk." Ryan smiled. "Tell them to contact Earth directly. We're just the delivery service." Chief Engineer Kate Williams joined them on the bridge. "Captain, I've been analyzing our performance during the battle. All systems exceeded expectations. The ship performed better than we hoped." "Any problems?" Ryan asked. "Just one," Kate replied. "We're too effective. The aliens didn't even give us a proper fight. It was like using a sledgehammer to swat flies." Pilot Danny Rodriguez laughed. "Maybe next time we should warn them to bring more ships." Weapons Specialist Claire Johnson was less amused. "Captain, I only got to use half our weapon systems. The aliens died too quickly." Ryan understood their feelings. They had trained for months to operate the most advanced warship ever built. The battle had lasted less than 30 minutes. It hardly seemed fair. But that was exactly the point. Earth had not built the Devastator to fight fair battles. They had built it to end battles quickly and decisively, to send a message to the galaxy that humanity was not as weak as everyone believed. Down on New Haven, life slowly returned to normal. The colonists began rebuilding their damaged homes and facilities. Children played in the streets again. The mining operations resumed. But something had changed. The people of New Haven now knew that Earth had not forgotten them. That somewhere in the darkness between stars, ships like the Devastator were watching over human settlements. Commander Lisa Parker stood at her repaired command center and looked up at the night sky. The USS Devastator was still there, a dark guardian, protecting their world. "Jake," she said to her lieutenant, "send a message to all the outer colonies. Tell them what happened here. Tell them Earth has ships that can reach anywhere in human space." "What should I say about the Devastator?" Jake asked. "Tell them the truth," Lisa replied. "Tell them that when all hope seemed lost, Earth's strongest ship appeared and saved us all." The message went out across human space through quantum communication networks. From colony to colony, planet to planet, the story spread. The story of the ship that appeared from nowhere to save 50,000 lives. The story of humanity's hidden strength. In alien capitals across the galaxy, military leaders read intelligence reports about the battle and came to the same conclusion. Humanity was not the weak, primitive species they had believed. Earth had been hiding weapons that could destroy entire fleets. The age of underestimating humans was over. On the bridge of the USS Devastator, Captain Ryan Beck set course for the next human colony on their patrol route. Behind them, New Haven was safe. Ahead of them, the galaxy was learning a new lesson about humanity. Earth protects its own. Earth remembers its children. And Earth's reach was longer and more dangerous than anyone had dared imagine. The USS Devastator disappeared into quantum space, carrying with it the promise that no human would ever again face destruction alone. The legend had become reality, and the galaxy would never be the same. The first shot from the USS Devastator changed everything. A beam of pure blue energy erupted from the human ship's main cannon. It crossed the distance between ships in less than a second. When it hit the nearest Zephyrian cruiser, the alien vessel simply disappeared. One moment it was there, the next moment it was nothing but glowing particles drifting in space. General Vextar stared at his tactical display in shock. The dot representing his ship was gone. Just gone. His mouth fell open. In 30 years of war, he had never seen a weapon that could destroy a heavy cruiser with one shot. "What was that?" he screamed at his crew. Nobody had an answer. The humans had just done something impossible. On the bridge of the Devastator, Captain Ryan Beck watched the results with grim satisfaction. "Good shot, Claire. Target the next closest ship." Weapons specialist Claire Johnson worked at her controls with deadly precision. "Plasma arrays charged and ready. Selecting target." Tesao. Human ship moved through space like a hunting shark. Pilot Danny Rodriguez flew it between the alien vessels with impossible grace. The Devastator twisted and turned, always staying one step ahead of the enemy weapons. "Danny, bring us around their flagship," Ryan ordered. "I want to look general. Vextar in the eye." "You got it, Captain," Danny replied. His hands danced over the controls. The massive ship spun and dove like a fighter craft, even though it was 3 times larger than most vessels. The Zephyrian ships tried to surround the human vessel, but they were too slow. Every time they thought they had the Devastator trapped, it would disappear in a flash of light and reappear somewhere else. "How are they moving like that?" General Vexitar demanded. His science officer checked the readings. "General, they appear to be making micro-jumps through quantum space, but that should be impossible. The energy required would tear any ship apart." Another Zephyrian cruiser exploded as the Devastator's weapons found their mark. This time, it was a different weapon. A torpedo that seemed to phase through the alien ship's shields before exploding inside the hull. Lieutenant Commander Paul Adams coordinated the attack from his tactical station. "Target their command ship's weapon systems. We want to disable them, not destroy them yet. Why not just finish them?" Claire asked as she adjusted her targeting. Ryan answered without taking his eyes off the main screen. "Because I want them to understand what they're facing before they die." The Devastator's weapons fired again. This time, instead of destroying, the alien flagship, the beam cut through its weapon arrays with surgical precision. One by one, the massive guns on General Vextar's ship went silent. "Weapons offline," the alien general's crew reported. "Main guns destroyed." Vextar felt something he had never experienced before in battle. Complete helplessness. His ship was the most powerful vessel in the Zephyrian fleet, and the humans had just made it harmless in seconds. The human ship moved to the next target. A dreadnought twice the size of the Devastator tried to ram the human vessel. It accelerated to full speed, intending to crush the smaller ship with its massive bulk. Danny saw it coming and smiled. "Let's dance, big guy." The Devastator waited until the last possible second, then vanished. The alien dreadnought flew through empty space where the human ship had been. A moment later, the Devastator reappeared directly above the alien vessel. "Drop." "Mines," Ryan ordered calmly. Small devices fell from the human ship onto the dreadnought's hull. They looked harmless, like metal boxes, but when they exploded, they tore through the alien ship's armor like it was paper. The dreadnought broke in half, its hull splitting down the middle. On New Haven's surface, Commander Lisa Parker and her people watched the battle through their sensors. What they saw seemed impossible. One human ship was fighting 15 alien vessels and winning easily. "Commander, are we really seeing this?" Lieutenant Jake Morrison asked. His voice was filled with wonder. "I think so," Lisa replied. "But I don't understand how." Dr. Amanda Foster joined them in the command center. She had been watching from the medical bay. "That ship is like nothing I've ever seen. It's like it's from the future." The battle continued in space. The Zephyrian ships tried everything they could think of. They fired all their weapons at once. They attempted ramming attacks. They even tried to retreat and regroup. Nothing worked. The USS Devastator was always faster, always smarter, always one step ahead. Its weapons cut through alien armor like hot knives through butter. Its shields deflected enemy fire like rain bouncing off a roof. Chief Engineer Kate Williams monitored the ship's systems from the engine room. "Captain, all systems are operating beyond design parameters, but holding steady. The quantum core is running hot, but we're stable." "How much longer can we maintain this?" Ryan asked. "At this power level? Maybe 20 more minutes before we need to cool down," Kate replied. Ryan looked at the tactical display. Of the 15 alien ships, 7 were already destroyed. 3 more were badly damaged and trying to escape. The remaining 5 were regrouping for what looked like a final desperate attack. "Paul, what's our status on enemy forces?" Ryan asked. Adams checked his readings. 5 ships left operational. They're forming up for a coordinated attack on our position. "Let them come," Ryan said. "Claire, prepare the Hellfire torpedoes." Claire's eyes lit up. The Hellfire torpedoes were the most destructive weapons humans had ever created. They had never been used in combat before. "All tubes loaded and ready, Captain." The remaining Zephyrian ships charged forward in a tight formation. General Vextar led the attack in his damaged flagship. He had decided that if he was going to die, he would die fighting. "All ships, target the human vessel's engines," Vextar commanded. "If we can disable their movement, we might have a chance." The 5 alien ships opened fire together. Energy beams and plasma bolts filled the space around the Devastator. This time, they were aiming for specific targets instead of just trying to overwhelm the human ship. "Shields holding," Kate reported. "But they're hitting us harder than before." "Danny, evasive maneuvers," Ryan ordered. "Already on it, Captain," Danny replied as he spun the ship away from the worst of the enemy fire. "Claire, fire Hellfire torpedoes." "All tubes." "Firing now," Claire said as she pressed the launch button. 6 torpedoes launched from the Devastator. They did not look like much. Small, dark objects, no bigger than a person. But as they flew toward the alien ships, they began to glow with an inner fire. The first torpedo hit General Vextar's flagship. The explosion was unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Instead of a simple blast, the torpedo created a chain reaction that spread through the ship's hull like wildfire. The massive vessel simply melted away, piece by piece, until nothing was left. The other torpedoes found their targets. 4 more alien ships died in the same terrible way. Their hulls dissolved like ice in hot water. In less than 5 minutes, the entire Zephyrian fleet was gone. 15 warships that had terrorized human colonies for weeks were now nothing but debris floating in space. The USS Devastator hung alone in the darkness, victorious. On his dying ship, General Vextar used his last moments to send a message to the Zephyrian Empire. "Do not attack human colonies," he whispered into his communicator. "They have ships that can destroy fleets. Ships that cannot be stopped. Warn everyone." Then his ship's power failed, and General Vextar was gone. Ryan Beck stood on his bridge and looked at the wreckage surrounding his ship. The battle was over. New Haven was safe. But more importantly, the galaxy had just learned something new about humanity. Earth did not forget its children, and Earth's protection came with teeth, sharper than anyone had imagined. The final hour had come to New Haven. Commander Lisa Parker stood in the broken command center, watching the alien ships move closer to their planet. 24 hours had passed since General Vextar gave his ultimatum. Time was up. "Commander, they're moving into attack position," Lieutenant Jake Morrison reported. His voice was steady, but Lisa could see his hands shaking as he worked at his station. Lisa looked at the tactical display. 15 massive alien ships formed a circle around their world. Each ship was pointing its weapons down at the planet's surface. In a few minutes, those weapons would turn New Haven into a burning wasteland. "All civilians to the deepest shelters," Lisa ordered. "Everyone who can fight, take your positions." Dr. Amanda Foster ran past carrying medical supplies to the underground hospital. Families hurried through the tunnels with their children. Old people helped each other walk to safety. Everyone knew this was the end, but they kept moving anyway. Humans did not give up, even when death was certain. The communication system crackled to life. General Vextar's ugly face appeared on the main screen. His yellow eyes glowed with cruel satisfaction. "Human leader," the alien general said, "your time is finished. Have you decided to surrender?" Lisa stepped forward and looked directly into the camera. "We will never surrender to you." "Then you have chosen death for your people," Vextar replied. "How very human of you. Brave and stupid. Until the end. At least we'll die free," Lisa said. The alien general laughed his horrible laugh. "Freedom will not protect you from plasma fire. Goodbye, humans. Your species was weak anyway." The screen went black. Lisa turned to her crew. These brave men and women had stayed at their posts even though they knew they were about to die. They deserved better than this. "It's been an honor serving with all of you," Lisa said. Jake nodded. "Honor to serve with you too, Commander." Suddenly, every screen in the command center started flashing red warnings. Jake stared at his instruments with confusion. "Commander, I'm reading a massive energy distortion at the edge of the system," he said. "Something big is coming." Lisa felt her heart skip. "What kind of distortion?" "I don't know. It's like space itself is being torn apart." On the alien ships, General Vextar was getting the same readings. His bridge crew was talking quickly in their harsh language. The alien general looked worried for the first time since the siege began. High above New Haven, space began to twist and bend. Reality stretched like rubber. Stars seemed to move in impossible directions. Then, with a flash of light that could be seen from the planet's surface, something emerged from the distortion. It was a ship, but not like any ship the Zephyrians had ever seen. The vessel was huge, almost as big as their largest dreadnought. Its hull was black as the space between stars. No lights showed on its surface except for a faint blue glow from its engines. It looked like death given form and purpose. "Unknown vessel." General Vextar spoke into his communicator. His voice was not as confident as before. "You have entered Zephyrian space. Identify yourself immediately." For a long moment, there was only silence. The black ship hung in space like a predator studying its prey. On New Haven's surface, every person with access to a screen was watching. Could this be the help they had prayed for? Finally, a human voice came over the communication channels. It was calm and cold as winter on Earth. "This is Captain Ryan Beck of the Earth Defense Force vessel USS Devastator. You have attacked human civilians and threatened human lives. You have 30 seconds to withdraw from this system." General Vextar stared at his screen in disbelief. One human ship was threatening his entire fleet. He had 15 warships. The humans had one. Even for humans, this was incredibly stupid. "Human captain," Vextar said, "you must be insane. I have 15 heavy warships. You have one ship. Surrender now, and I might let you live as a slave." "You now have 20 seconds," Captain Beck replied. The alien general felt anger rising in his chest. How dare this human speak to him like this? He was General Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire. He had conquered dozens of worlds. He had killed millions of enemies. He would not be insulted by one human with one ship. "All ships," Vextar commanded. "His fleet. Target the human vessel. Destroy it completely." 15 alien warships turned their weapons toward the USS Devastator. Massive plasma cannons and energy beams charged to full power. Each ship had enough firepower to level a city. Together they could crack a moon in half. "You have made your choice," Captain Beck said quietly. "You should have left when I asked nicely." On the bridge of the Devastator, Ryan looked at his crew. These brave men and women had followed him across impossible distances to save people they had never met. Now they were about to face the most dangerous battle in human history. "Paul, what's our tactical situation?" Ryan asked. Lieutenant Commander Adams studied his displays. 15 enemy ships in a rough circle formation, 3 dreadnoughts, 12 heavy cruisers. They're spreading out to surround us. "Kate, how are our systems?" Ryan asked next. Chief Engineer Williams checked her readings. "Quantum drive is cooling down from the jump. All other systems are green. We're ready for whatever you need, Captain." Claire, weapons status. Weapons Specialist Johnson smiled grimly. "All experimental systems are online and ready to fire. The aliens are about to see what Earth engineering can do. Danny, take us in, Ryan ordered. Pilot Rodriguez cracked his knuckles and grabbed the controls. Which ship do you want to visit first, Captain? Let's start with their flagship, Ryan replied. Time to introduce ourselves properly. The USS Devastator moved forward through space. It did not hurry. It did not try to dodge or hide. It flew straight toward the center of the alien fleet like an arrow aimed at a target. General Vextar watched the human ship approach and felt a strange emotion he had not experienced in years. Fear. Something about that black ship made his skin crawl. It moved too smoothly, too confidently, like it was not afraid of anything. All ships, open fire, Vextar commanded. 15 alien warships fired at once, the space around the Devastator filled with deadly energy beams and plasma bolts. Enough firepower to destroy a small fleet focused on one human ship. The weapons hit the Devastator's shields, and something impossible happened. The energy beams bent and scattered like light hitting a mirror. The plasma bolts were absorbed and redirected. The human ship sailed through the deadly barrage without a scratch. Impossible, Vextar whispered. On New Haven's surface, Lisa Parker and her people watched in amazement. The human ship was not just surviving the alien attack, it was ignoring it completely. Commander, Jake said with wonder in his voice, their shields aren't even flickering. Ryan Beck's voice came over the communication channels again. He sounded disappointed. That was your best shot? Let me show you how Earth does it. The USS Devastator's weapons came online. The black ship began to glow with deadly light as its experimental systems charged to full power. General Vextar and his fleet were about to learn why humans were feared in whispered legends across the galaxy. The battle for New Haven was about to begin, and the aliens had no idea what they were facing. Captain Ryan Beck was sleeping when the alarm started screaming. The sound cut through his dreams like a knife. He rolled out of his bed in the small room he called home for the past 2 years. The red lights on his wall were flashing. That meant only one thing: emergency. Ryan pulled on his uniform and ran down the metal hallway. All around him, other people were running too. Scientists, engineers, soldiers. Everyone looked worried. The Luna shipyard was usually quiet at this time of night. Earth's moon was peaceful. But tonight was different. Captain Beck to the command center immediately, a voice said over the speakers. This is not a drill. Ryan had been expecting this call for months, maybe years. He was the captain of a ship that did not officially exist, a ship that Earth's government said was just a story. But Ryan knew better. He had been living next to it for 2 years, watching it grow from metal pieces into something incredible. The command center was full of people when Ryan arrived. Admiral Susan Carter was there, which meant this was serious. The Admiral only came to Luna when something very bad was happening. Her gray hair was perfect even at 3 in the morning. Her face looked tired but determined. Captain Beck, she said when she saw him. We have a situation. She pointed to the big screen on the wall. It showed a star map with red dots marking human colonies. One dot was flashing. Ryan read the name below it. New Haven. Zephyrian Attack Fleet, Admiral Carter explained. 50,000 colonists trapped. They've been under siege for 3 weeks. The nearest rescue fleet is 4 months away. Ryan felt cold inside. 4 months was too long. Everyone on that planet would be dead by then. What about the ships at Mars Station? Ryan asked. Already deployed to the Centauri system. Pirates hit 3 colonies at once last week. We have nothing else close enough. The Admiral paused. Nothing except your ship. Ryan looked at the screen again. New Haven was very far away. Even with the fastest ships Earth had, it would take months to get there. But his ship was not like other ships. Admiral, the Devastator isn't ready, Ryan said. We've only run basic tests. I know, she replied. But it's the only chance those people have. Ryan thought about the ship waiting in the hidden dock below them. The USS Devastator was Earth's greatest secret. 5 years of work, the best technology humans had ever created, Weapons that could crack planets, armor that could stop anything, and an engine that could cross space faster than anyone thought possible, but it was still experimental. Dangerous. They did not know if all the systems would work together. They had never tested it in real combat. Taking it into battle now was like playing with fire. "I need my crew," Ryan said finally. "Already on their way," Admiral Carter smiled for the first time that night. 20 minutes later, Ryan stood in the briefing room with the people he trusted most in the universe. Chief Engineer Kate Williams sat at the table reading technical reports. Her red hair was messy from being woken up, but her green eyes were sharp and focused. Lieutenant Commander Paul Adams studied star charts on his tablet. He was the best tactical officer in the Earth fleet. His brain worked like a computer when it came to space battles. If anyone could figure out how to beat 15 alien ships with one human ship, it was Paul. Pilot Danny Rodriguez was cleaning his glasses and trying to wake up with coffee. Danny could fly anything with engines, shuttles, fighters, massive battleships. He made it look easy. Ryan had seen Danny fly through asteroid fields like he was dancing. Weapons specialist Claire Johnson was already in her uniform and ready to go. She knew every gun, missile, and energy weapon humans had ever built. More importantly, she knew how to use them all at the same time to cause maximum damage. "People," Ryan said, "we have a job to do." He told them about New Haven, about the 50,000 people waiting to die, about the alien fleet that thought humans were weak and easy to kill, about the impossible distance they had to travel to get there in time. "Sir," Kate said when he finished, "the quantum drive has never been tested at full power. We don't know if the ship can handle the stress. The engines might tear themselves apart." "The weapons systems are still experimental too," Claire added. "We've run computer simulations, but we've never fired them at real targets." "And we don't know how the ship will handle in actual combat," Danny said. "All our flight tests were in empty space." Paul looked up from his charts. "According to our intelligence reports, the Zephyrian fleet has 3 dreadnoughts and 12 heavy cruisers. That's enough firepower to destroy a small moon." Ryan listened to all their concerns. They were right to be worried. This mission was dangerous beyond anything they had ever attempted. They could die before they even reached New Haven. The ship could explode during the quantum jump. The weapons could malfunction. The aliens could destroy them in the first 5 minutes of battle. "I'm not going to lie to you," Ryan said. "This is probably a suicide mission. The ship isn't ready. We aren't ready. But those people on New Haven don't have anyone else." He paused and looked at each of his officers. These were good people. The best Earth had to offer. They had families and friends back home, lives to live and dreams to follow. He could not ask them to throw all that away. "Anyone who wants to leave can do so now," Ryan continued. "No shame in it. This isn't what you signed up for." Nobody moved. Kate stopped reading her reports. Claire put down her coffee. Danny stopped cleaning his glasses. Paul looked up from his charts. They all stared at Ryan. "Captain," Paul said finally, "when do we leave?" 1 hour later, the hidden doors of Dock 7 slowly opened. Inside the secret chamber, the USS Devastator waited like a sleeping dragon. The ship was 3 times longer than any other vessel in the Earth fleet. Its hull was black as space itself. No lights showed on its surface. It looked like death given form and purpose. Ryan walked through the ship's corridors with his crew. 200 volunteers had joined them, the best engineers, technicians, and soldiers Earth could find. People who knew they might never see home again but came anyway. In the engine room, Kate ran final checks on the quantum drive. The machine hummed with barely contained energy. "Captain, I can give you 1 jump to New Haven. Maybe 2 if we're lucky. After that, we're running on normal engines." In the weapons bay, Claire tested the experimental systems one last time. "All guns show green, Captain. The new plasma arrays are ready. The Hellfire torpedoes are loaded and armed." On the bridge, Danny started the launch sequence. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're ready to fly." Paul finished loading the tactical data into the ship's computers. Enemy fleet positions uploaded. Battle plans ready. Ryan sat in the captain's chair and looked at the stars through the main window. Somewhere out there, 50,000 people were waiting for help that they thought would never come. They were wrong. "Take us out, Danny," Ryan ordered. The Devastator moved slowly out of its hidden dock, past the other ships in the Luna shipyard, past the defense platforms that protected Earth's moon, into the empty darkness of space. "Quantum drive ready, Captain," Kate reported from engineering. "Set course for New Haven," Ryan commanded. "Maximum speed." "Course laid in," Paul confirmed. Ryan took a deep breath. This was it. No more tests. No more simulations. Time to find out if Earth's most dangerous ship was ready for war. Engage quantum drive. Space twisted around them like a broken mirror. Stars became lines of light. The ship shook as it tore through dimensions that had no names. The USS Devastator disappeared from Earth's solar system, carrying with it the hope of a distant world and the promise that Earth never forgot its children. Behind them, Admiral Carter watched from the command center as the quantum signature faded. "Good luck," she whispered to the empty space where the ship had been. The morning sun on Kepler 442b rose blood red through the smoke and dust. Commander Lisa Parker stood at the cracked window of what used to be the colony's main control room. 3 weeks ago, this place had been busy with miners, families, and traders. Now it looked like a war zone. Lisa wiped sweat from her face and looked at the damage report on her tablet. The news was bad, just like every day for the past 21 days. The alien ships were still up there, waiting like hungry wolves. The Zephyrian Empire had come to take their planet, and they would not leave until every human was dead or gone. "Commander Parker, we need you in the medical center," called out Dr. Amanda Foster as she rushed past, carrying medical supplies. Her white coat was dirty and torn. Dark circles under her eyes showed how little sleep she had been getting. Lisa walked through the colony's underground tunnels. The walls shook every few minutes when the alien ships fired their weapons at the surface. Dust fell from the ceiling like snow. Children cried in the distance. The sound made Lisa's heart hurt. The colony of New Haven had been home to 50,000 people just a month ago. Families who came here to start new lives, workers who mined the valuable crystals deep underground, scientists who studied the strange plants and animals. Now they were all trapped like animals in a cage. Lieutenant Jake Morrison was waiting for Lisa in the command center. His young face looked older than his 25 years. War did that to people. It aged them fast. "Commander, the shields are down to 30% power," Jake reported. "The aliens hit our main generator again last night. Our engineers fixed it, but it won't last much longer." Lisa nodded and looked at the big screen on the wall. It showed their planet from space. 15 large alien ships floated around there, whirled like sharks. Each ship was 3 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. Their weapons could turn a city into ash in minutes. "Any word from Earth?" Lisa asked, even though she knew the answer. Jake shook his head. "Nothing, Commander. The last message we got was 2 weeks ago. They said help was coming, but—" He did not finish the sentence. They both knew help was not coming in time. "Doctor." Foster joined them in the command center. Her hands were bloody from treating wounded colonists. "Lisa, we're running out of medicine and food. The children are asking when they can go home." Lisa felt the weight of command pressing down on her shoulders. These people trusted her to keep them safe. But how could she fight 15 alien warships with nothing but mining equipment and a few old defense guns? The Zephyrians had come without warning 3 weeks ago. Their general, a cruel alien named Vextar, had given the humans one choice: leave the planet or die. When the colonists refused to abandon their homes, the aliens began their attack. First, they destroyed the orbital stations where the supply ships docked. Then they hit the communication towers so the colonists could not call for help. After that, they took out the defenses one by one. Now they were just playing with their food before eating it. "Commander, Incoming transmission, Jake said suddenly. His voice had a tiny bit of hope in it. The main screen changed to show the face of General Vextar. The alien looked like a giant lizard walking on two legs. His yellow eyes glowed with hate. Sharp teeth filled his mouth when he smiled. "Human leader," the alien general said in broken English. "You have caused my empire much trouble. We grow tired of this game." Lisa stepped forward. She would not show fear to this monster. "This is our planet, Vextar. We're not leaving." The alien laughed. It sounded like glass breaking. "Foolish human. Look around you. Your people are dying. Your defenses are broken. Your precious Earth has forgotten about you." "Earth doesn't forget its people," Lisa said, but her voice was not as strong as she wanted it to be. "Does it not?" Vextar moved closer to his camera. Lisa could see the scars on his face from old battles. "Where are your rescue ships? Where are your great human warriors? You sent out your call for help weeks ago. No one came." Lisa felt cold inside. The alien was right. Earth was too far away. The nearest human fleet would take months to reach them. By then, there would be nothing left to save. "I will give you one final chance," Vextar continued. "You have 24 of your hours to surrender. Bring all your people to the surface with their hands up. We will take them as slaves, but they will live." "And if we refuse?" Lisa asked. The alien's smile grew wider. "Then we turn this planet into a ball of fire. Every man, woman, and child will burn. Choose wisely, human." The screen went black. The command center was quiet for a long moment. Lisa could hear her own heartbeat. Jake stared at his hands. Dr. Foster sat down heavily in a chair. "What do we do, Commander?" Jake asked quietly. Lisa looked around the room, at the broken equipment, at the faces of her people who trusted her to find a way out, at the red warning lights that showed their shields were failing. "We fight," she said finally. "With what?" Dr. Foster asked. "We have mining lasers and a few old guns. They have warships that can destroy cities." "Then we make them pay for every life they take," Lisa replied. "We're human. We don't give up." But inside, Lisa knew the truth. They were going to die. All of them. The children playing in the tunnels below. The families huddled together in the shelters. The brave men and women who kept working even when death flew overhead every day. That night, Lisa walked through the colony. She visited the families in their small rooms carved out of rock. She talked to the children and told them stories about Earth. She helped the doctors care for the wounded. She checked on the engineers who kept their shields running. Everywhere she went, people asked the same question with their eyes. "Is help really coming?" Lisa smiled and told them yes, but her heart was breaking. She had sent out dozens of messages to Earth and the other human colonies. Only one had answered, and that message was weeks old. It said help was coming, but Lisa knew it was too late, as the sun set on their 21st day under attack. Lisa stood again at the cracked window. Tomorrow, General Vexitar would come for his answer. And Lisa knew what she had to tell him. The people of New Haven would rather die free than live as slaves. But as she prepared for humanity's last stand on this distant world, Lisa could not shake one small hope. Somewhere in the dark between the stars, maybe someone had heard their call. Maybe Earth had not forgotten them after all. Maybe help was coming.